Hello and welcome to episode 81 of the Jeffrey and Brian Show. I'm Jeffrey.
Brian.
And we're just two guys drinking beer, talk what's going on. We got Ray, our rock here. We got Claire, our token.
Hey, I am so gonna flip you off tonight.
Hey, that was a good one. A lot of shit happened since Saturday.
A lot more than I realized.
Yeah, I know. Who's this Howard Hessmann dude? He's the newest dead guy.
He was on the show WKRP in Cincinnati. He was the really cool smoke weed, chill DJ on the show type of guy.
Wasn't he actually a DJ before he did that show?
Probably. I don't know. I just
you
knew him from that show.
You didn't read the article you sent, did you?
I didn't get that far into the article.
It's all right. Yeah, I mean, I've seen the show. That was WKRP in Cincinnati or something like that, right? Like some weird. Keep in mind, I can't sing. I'm pretty tone deaf. Yeah. All right. He's 81.
Yep, lived a good life. Didn't make it Bette Midler, Betty White age, but he did pretty good.
Yeah.
On to lighter news now.
Yes, on to lighter news and more politically correct things. Apparently, orcas have been killing blue whales and eating them, but in particular, eating their tongue. And what's even crazier is they're eating the tongue before the blue whale is dead. It's been documented 3 times down by Australia. Crazy. Apparently, it takes like a team of orcas and like 5 of them or something like that comes down on the top of the whale and pushes them straight down into the ball, like downwards. Well, maybe it's just controlling so they can't fight back as much. But they have like another team of whales that attack it from the sides and rip blubber out, while some go inside the thing's mouth and actually like eat its tongue. And they eventually dies, and it feeds an entire pod. And this giant feeding frenzy like sharks. And I see why they call them killer whales. That's
there's a video out there about happened in Boston, I think, and they were doing a whale watch, and nature was doing his thing. Killer whales were killing a whale, and you can hear somebody in the background that leave. Oh my God! Somebody do something! Call the Coast Guard. Well, like, what the hell are they gonna do? Send the guy to the whale, or the killer whales to
whale jail?
Yeah, like no, what's the name of the water park? You know?
Well, yeah. What are they gonna do?
Yeah.
That's like calling the police, watching Discovery Channel and calling the police because you're watching a live crime when a lion eats a gazelle.
Yeah.
You know, it's like
that's nature. Or the best one too is like 2 gorillas are fighting in the zoo. There's a video of it. And the lady like, oh my God, somebody call the zookeeper. What the zookeeper is going to do? Get in the middle of it? Like, hey, stop it, guys.
Well, they would probably trank them, but that's because those animals are property and they're being used for like studies and stuff. But wild animals, I mean, like you said, killer whale's gonna kill. That's
what they do.
Yeah, they didn't get that nickname lightly. Okay.
The other one, you ever seen them killing sea lion? Not the sea lion. Yeah, the sea lions and stuff like that. Seals and stuff.
Oh, and they toss them around in the air.
Yeah. Like they go close to the shore and they swoop them.
Yeah, like a cat with a mouse.
Yeah.
All right. Look, kitty. Just like Stick Sex and Hammer. Just like Stick Sex and Hammer. His cat's always on the screen. Ray, I believe you shared this new art project thing.
What's that?
No, it was me.
No, that was you? My mistake.
Yeah.
It sounded like something Ray would have shared to the group.
It's probably our tax dollars at work. an Ivy League school, Princeton University, has invited for their students to make art with condoms.
What kind of art? Huh?
I was gonna say, is anyone else just worried about like God burning these places to the ground, just like Sodom and Gomorrah?
Everybody,
turning people
everybody
to
that
pillars of salt.
participates gets 50 expired condoms.
Does expired mean like they're no good to use anymore, or they've been used?
No, they're no good. They're out of date. They're past their best by use by date. So instead of giving,
wait a minute, hold on, aren't these things made out of rubber and plastic?
Instead of giving them to the Navy to hand out to the sailors, they're using them as art.
I'm like, what the hell? Like when you graduate, like, hey, what are you accomplishing in college? Artwork, art condoms.
Obviously, they're making balloon animals. I mean, that's the only art that I could possibly think of that would be useful.
I'm still really confused.
Well, hopefully hopefully there's a follow-up article. The judging and prizes are going to be on Valentine's Day or National Condom Day. Did you know that? Valentine's Day is actually National Condom Day.
I still don't know what a condom is.
You've never used one?
That's not true at all. I've been in some dirty places.
Singapore.
No, and not Thailand either.
On my sailboat.
Yes. Help!
He couldn't help Sean from drowning because you were too busy.
I was like, yeah, you'll be all right. Dude fell over the side of the boat, and I just left him because I was busy.
Good old Harbor Fest.
That was, we were so drunk, we were singing Cadence marching through Norfolk in the middle of the night. Really, what kind of, do you guys have any ideas besides Claire had a valid idea? At least you can make balloon animals. Like, what are you gonna do with rubbers? Like, does that have to be made of only condoms, or are they supposed to be incorporated in your art piece?
Doesn't say. You just gotta we'll just gotta wait and see the photos.
Because I'd like then I've got an idea. How about a person they pulling it over their brain, and they're protecting their brain from the news channels.
Kobe.
I mean, what are they going to call this art? Dicked over? I mean,
Georgia man.
I wish I had thought to make a joke of this earlier. I could have come up with so many good kind of jokes.
And there's only so many jokes you can come up with shrink wrap. I mean, come on.
Shrink wrap.
In the winter, buy a pinhole. Like I said, there's so many. I just wish I had thought to make jokes about this. Brian doing a good job of keeping Norfolk in the news. What's up? Actually, before this, I didn't bring up a local thing. I just want to mention something. I haven't brought it up on the show because I haven't had much progress. What?
Winston-Salem?
Well, I've refiled my VA paperwork, and I haven't had much success over the last like 15 or 17 years, however long it's been. I've got an appointment with a doctor in like 2 weeks.
That's
This
good.
is the furthest I've ever actually got. And I'm pretty excited that I might start getting some compensation for losing what I lost and dealing with what I'm dealing with. I don't know. I'm excited. It'd be really nice. Be really, really nice if I got, a couple grand a month.
Yeah.
But that was how I was tying in my local thing. I just wanted to bring that up.
Okay.
Sorry about that. To Brian's local thing in Norfolk.
Yeah, well, City of Norfolk got a bunch of money from the American Rescue Plan Act that Biden signed, and they're actually asking the residents how they want the city to spend the money. And this is money that actually has to be spent, or they're going to lose the money.
Okay.
Because the federal government is already trying to pull back some of this money from states that they don't agree with, and how they're using it, states and cities. But if cities don't use it or states don't use it, they're going to lose it, and it'll get spent on something else the federal government wants to spend it on.
Okay. I first became very aware of this type of bookkeeping in the Navy.
Of course, that's how it's done.
Actually, I did that on purpose because that's what made me think of my claim. But yeah, at the end of the year, we would literally throw things over the side of the ship into the ocean.
Oh, in engineering, it was a party when that happened.
Yeah, you remember coming back from the world tour, right? You were on the same ship as me.
Mhm.
There was a line, and we just walked down the ship, and oh my God, we must have thrown away $50 million of like these 600-pound valves, and just walk up to the fan tail and drop them in the ocean. And that thing's got dual roosted tails on an aircraft carrier. And I was like, I can't believe we're doing this, you know?
No,
Like, well, if we don't
this
have a
thing-
reason to spend this money next year, we're not going to get the money. Like, we just lighting money on fire. And that's exactly what they're doing, right? They're lighting the money on fire so they get it next time if it happens. Or
Yeah.
same idea is use it or we're going to take it back.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yep.
Why can't we have some responsible people here in charge of ships and bases and cities
Yeah.
that says, we don't need all of this money. Let's give it back to the people.
Yep.
Yeah.
Not that putting it back in the taxpayer's till is giving it to the people, but
Nope.
there you go. Cut every citizen, every citizen in the city a check and just
That's how
divide
you
what's
get
left
inflation.
over and divide it by that number of people.
That's how you get inflation too. This is made up money.
Well, the problem that made up money is what makes your dollar worth less, is what makes your loaf of bread cost more, and my loaf of
Yeah.
bread costs more.
That's what I like. Should we go back to?
People forget. Oh, sorry.
No, it's just frustrating because if you spend it, you get a current inflation, but it's there. You know, if it's not, we're not spending, somebody else is gonna get it. You know, it's like
Yeah.
there's nothing good to spend on because unless you do like I don't know, total revamp of the streets and stuff like that. You know, because we could use a lot of to fix up the roads. You know, over here.
Well, I mean, I don't know. What would you expect him to do though? Like, if you were running the city, what would you do with
Spend
money?
money.
If you, huh?
Spend it.
Yeah, exactly. You would spend it too instead of saying we don't need it. And it just seems nuts to me that this is the default
Yeah,
is to spend money.
Mhm.
yeah, but
This is our problem, isn't it?
yeah,
Oh, another problem we have is the confidence-based economy, which is what our dollar is worth. Is it's not backed by anything anymore. We went away from the gold standard, the silver standard, anything like that, because
You're the only other person I've ever spoken to that has ever mentioned the silver standard. Most people didn't know it ever existed.
well, the Wizard of Oz, she didn't have ruby slippers; she had silver slippers. It was a nice way of criticizing the economy back then when it was written.
I got a chest full of silver.
But that's one of our biggest problems, though, is the confidence-based economy allows the government to inflate it whenever they want, which means our dollars are worth less.
Who actually prints money? Is it the
US.
Federal Reserve?
Yeah.
Yes.
The Federal Reserve.
Okay, they are not the government.
No, they're not.
Do they need permission from the United States government to print money?
No, they
I
do not.
believe they need Congress's permission.
yeah.
I mentioned this last week. I could do an entire 5 hours on the Federal Reserve. It just seems so strange to have a private corporation in charge
not-
of the currency that basically runs the entire world.
Let's stop calling the Federal Reserve because it's not the Reserve and it's not the federal. This thing should be the third national bank, United States Bank.
Yeah, I get people get confused by that, but I don't know why they're so surprised when you tell them it's not federal. It's like Federal Express. But you think that's actually the government delivering? No, the United States Postal Service delivers packages. And I don't even, and as I mentioned Saturday, I don't even know who's in charge of the Federal Reserve right now. I haven't heard crap from them except for once since Yellen left.
Jerome Powell.
Pile. Okay.
All right, you brought up the NASCAR LGB coin deal,
Yeah,
and
God.
the NASCAR did shoot down the original sponsorship deal. They've come back with a revised deal, and they're waiting to get approval from NASCAR on it.
All right. So we're still in the same spot. Oh, they got a new deal. Okay.
Yeah,
So your prediction was
Who's
correct.
trying to
That
sponsor them? Can we just?
this company called, they're making Let's Go Brandon coins. It's a
Okay.
Bitcoin company.
it's a crypto, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. LGB crypto. Well, as soon as you saw that, you're like, that's getting thrown out right away. No way they're gonna let that be on his card. All right. All right. This is a couple weeks ago or a week or so ago, but Michael Rapaport. He's a comedian, yada, whatever. He's kind of left leaning, isn't he?
Oh, completely.
All right. I'm not super familiar with his work.
No, he hated Trump. He hate Joe Biden too, but he's like, you know what? Joe Biden's like the least leader.
Most comedians are kind of left leaning, so
Yeah.
except for Tim Allen.
Which is weird because most of the comedians that you know, like you've known for a while, have gotten there by bucking the system and not going along with it.
Well, actually, that kind of makes sense. If you look at the 1990s and stuff, when Republicans were mainly in charge and they had a stranglehold on the culture, comedians had to be left leaning to buck the system. Now that they are part of the system, they're no longer funny.
Oh, Sarah Silverman.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What was that? Did you any of you watch that Christmas thing she did with was it Seth Rogen?
No.
It was a cartoon. They got all butthurt because no one liked it. And it's like the first thing you did is make fun of Christians in your cartoon thing. And it's like, and it's like, not picking on the Jewish people, but you got two Jewish people running this Christmas special, and all they're doing is dumping on people that actually believe in Christmas. And then they say it's because all these people are anti-Semitic. It's like, no, it's because you're an asshole and your show sucked. Like no one comments on our show because no one watches it, but I'm waiting for the day when someone actually watches one of these or it gets out because we do something really cool and it gets out there and all I get is a whole bunch of hate from everyone. Because once you start getting tons of hate that you're actually starting to get noticed, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like Matt Christensen used to say, I keep waiting for my big media hit piece. No one watches Matt Christensen, huh? That's all right. I enjoy his show. He only does like 2 episodes a week, 2 things a week, and then the thing he does with Blonde.
Beauty and the Beta.
Not anymore. They changed the name. It's crap. I think it's the Matt and Blonde show now. All right. I guess let's go and hit one of these main topics here.
All right.
You want to go with Rogan, or you want to talk about these racist Republicans that are going to start buying McCormick?
I don't care. Pick one.
All right, let's go with the Rogan thing. We've been talking about this for a while. Oh, someone highlighted it.
The whole
Hey,
thing.
hold on. Let's go back. We never talk about what Rapaport say, did we? We just talk about.
Oh no, that's right. We got distracted. You're right.
Yeah.
Rapaport.
Hold on. Like, did he just? Oh,
Yeah. Did everyone see that video? I mean, it was pretty
It's 2
viral for a
videos.
while.
2-part videos.
Yeah, well, the dude basically just walked into like it was a Rite Aid or something.
Yeah.
Filled
And,
his basket.
And just walked out and did nothing. Even the security guy just looked at him.
Oh, he looked
Well,
right at the camera too. Like,
yeah.
Yep, this is me.
Then he came back like a week later to the same store. Guess what? Empty shelves.
Yeah, and that's the best part is you hear people like AOC saying shit like, oh, they're stealing a loaf of bread. It's like, no, a bottle of vodka and condoms is not a loaf of bread.
Yeah.
Well, maybe he was going to go. Maybe he's a genius at Princeton. Is going to go make a sculpture out of rubbers.
Yeah, but you know what? This is gonna affect New York pretty soon. All Rite Aids and Walgreens are gonna pull out this like the stores out of New York City, and they're not gonna have nothing like San Francisco. And
Walgreens, Walgreens left out several locations in San Francisco, right?
Yeah, 17 stores.
Does this violate any constitutional things about protecting property?
No, because the DA doesn't care about prosecuting it.
Well, I mean, I don't. If the DA doesn't care, it doesn't mean it's not a constitutional violation.
Then if they don't prosecute, who does?
No, what I believe what Claire is saying is, can I stand here with a shotgun and keep you from stealing my shit, right?
Pretty much.
Not San Francisco.
Or New York.
Or New York. Good luck getting a shotgun in New York. But you have a constitutional right to protect your property, but good luck defending it, shooting it. Good luck in court defending yourself, shooting someone for stealing your Hostess donuts. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, you donuts are more valuable in life. Well, if I don't make a living, what the fuck is the point?
I didn't understand a word of that.
He agreed with you.
Oh, okay. Sometimes I just can't quite hear him quite right. It's like muffled almost sometimes. I don't know why.
My microphone stuck.
Well, other times you're clear as a bell.
Joe Rogan broke silence this week on the controversy.
Yeah, I actually had it. I was going to cue that up to play some of it. It's like a 10-minute long video.
Does Joe Rogan do anything short?
I don't know. But these little videos he does when he's got himself talking to the camera, has anyone else noticed it's always like right after a workout? His face is always flush. He's got veins poking out of his head and he's like sweaty. He's like, so I had these thoughts. I'm like, I get you. Or like, you had these deep thoughts when you were working out. It's like, splash some water on yourself or something, dude. You know?
I thought that's how he just looked naturally, honestly.
Well, when he does these little, holding his phone up, it looks like he's like squeezing out, pushing out like, a turd the size of a freaking baseball, like,
it's a Pringles can.
Yeah. These beer can turds, but he said some really good points about misinformation and disinformation about how what you would have got booted off of YouTube for. We got an episode taken down for quoting the CDC.
Right.
And he even said this, like, you would have got taken down for this 8 months ago, and now it's Newsweek is running it. It's on CNN. And I thought it was amazing watching the responses to that, but especially from Mika and Joe. You know what I'm talking about, right? The Republicans at CNN.
Yeah, quote unquote.
Yes. Well, so anyway, they ended up coming to some kind of agreement, right?
Well, Spotify has come out and said that they're going to put flags on podcasts now that will direct people to their COVID-19 response website. So they've got a web page set up that gives you all the right information.
Right information.
Via the CDC.
What was that dude's name? Murphy?
What, from RoboCop?
No, on the Rogan show that he had on, that the guy who's like first ever accredited for ever mentioning mRNA and saying it could possibly be used for a vaccine.
It was in the article here. Let me find it.
I'm sure it was. Yeah, he mentioned the guy's name in it.
Dr. Peter McCullough?
No, the other one.
No, Dr. Robert Malone.
Malone. That's right. I keep thinking Post Malone, but he's that rapper with way too many tattoos.
Yeah, way too many.
Little Wayne? What?
Huh?
Lil Wayne, what? You said too many tattoos.
Oh, Post Malone, and I like tattoos. I mean, I got a tattoo in my hand that I keep getting called Nazi for. And I still don't understand how people get Nazi out of a maul, a fire hammer, a fire axe, I'm sorry, and a carpenter square, but made me unpopular in Virginia with a lot of my black coworkers. Oh, you know, that would have been a good transition into something else, but we'll get to that. But yeah, I didn't realize. I thought they were just putting a little like thing like Facebook does.
No, they're sending people to a different site.
So the guy who invented this stuff, he's not a credible source.
No.
But Don Lemon is.
And Dr. Fauci.
Dr. Fauci. Oh. Not Fauci, but did you see Gavin Newsom with Shaquille O'Neal?
No.
Some event happened. He went to like a basketball game or hockey. I don't know, whatever sport.
Football game last Sunday.
Yeah, he was playing sports ball, or they were playing sports ball, and he went to the game, and everyone's supposed to be masked up and everything. And Newsom goes and puts out photographs of him with Shaquille O'Neal with no mask on. And the first thing I thought was like, Shaquille O'Neal is overweight. He's 62. He's too tall, so he probably has a heart issue, and he's HIV positive. And now we got this dude standing next to him with no mask on. I think no one's really worried about this disease. Or
wait, Shaquille O'Neal's HIV positive?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, not Shaquille O'Neal. My
Johnson.
mistake. It was Magic Johnson.
Oh, yeah.
My mistake. It was Magic Johnson.
We're gonna get a strike for that.
No,
We are. We did correct it, yo. Thank you for calling me out right away, Claire. Yeah, Magic Johnson, my mistake.
I didn't think Shaquille O'Neal was 62 either, so
Probably not. Magic Johnson is a much older man.
yeah.
But yeah, like this dude has like 5 comorbidities. If you were seriously concerned this is going to kill him, you wouldn't even be within 10 feet of him, let alone mask off, shaking his hand, you know?
I mean, you could pull a Whoopi and just think that the vaccine's going to protect you and those around you.
Oh my God, Whoopi keeps coming up. What's even worse, she's going to keep coming up. For some reason, she won't leave the news.
Yeah.
999.
Are we going to Whoopi now?
No. That's a little foreshadowing.
Truckers.
Yeah. The disinformation concerning the Rona
Continues.
and continues right into this trucker convoy, which I guess is 50 miles long now.
Well, Nova Scotia outlawed it. They're
Well, you're not
gonna
allowed
do
to
it.
support them.
Yeah.
How
Didn't
can
Elon
you-
Musk support him? Like, hasn't he given them money?
Well, if you
Yeah,
gave it to him on GoFundMe, he's getting his money back. So
Why?
GoFundMe shut the campaign down and is returning all the funds.
Is that because they didn't know who to give it to, or because they disagree with the message?
They disagree with the message. And the fund was $10 million. There were
I didn't know
$10 million had been donated on GoFundMe for the truckers.
What? How does GoFundMe just say no? We're gonna say F you halfway through this.
Private company, kind of like Facebook and Google. Do they do what they want when they want?
Well, it's
To
not
make-
only that, it's they're in power and they want to preserve that. They're the top of the fucking game right now, and they really want to preserve that power that they have over the market. I don't think it has to do necessarily as much with they're not against the movement as more as they want that sweet money, and those in power above them can make their life harder. So
Yeah, the private company argument I've heard a lot of times, and that one pisses me off every time I hear it. Because by that logic, if I could open a shop, a diner, for example, and not let you eat in my diner if your skin's a certain color, if your private company theory is accurate, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure we had a whole big fight about you have to treat everyone the same.
Yep.
yeah,
How
completely
about
agree.
Baker Shop?
Yeah. And then we mentioned Saturday, Trudeau ran away from these truckers.
And now he's COVID positive.
Well, that's
I
why
want-
they went to a different location because the whole family's got COVID.
Yeah, well, I got a feeling that's what they're using to explain why they ran away, because he's terrified of these people. What it said, 50,000 trucks or something like that, at least.
And there's American truckers involved in it too.
Okay, okay, that makes sense. All I could think was 50,000 truckers. That has to be like, if that's 50,000 people, that has to be like 1% of the Canadian population. As weird as it sounds, there's not 300 million people in Canada. You know what I mean?
No, it's a pretty, small country. It's got lots of land, but it's very spread out.
Yeah, and like 85% of the population lives within 45 minutes of the U.S. border.
In Toronto.
Or Montreal.
Vancouver.
Saskatchewan. Actually, Saskatchewan is cold. That's way up there.
I wouldn't
Yeah.
mind going to visit there. I like the cold.
It's,
Bill Maher.
Yeah, okay. I was gonna say it's been like 17 degrees here for a week. I
We're
just
gonna
want
be
to bring up
60 this week. So
60. I want to bring up Bill Maher because he seems to always be like 2 years, maybe as close as a year behind the actual discussion. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but Bill Maher is also a really good.
Bellwether.
He's a really good forecaster for like how the rest of the population is feeling, because a lot of people don't watch news or consume it as regularly as all four of us. And something like that is just telling that regular people are starting to get fed up with this. They're starting to get disillusioned.
Well, it's been bothering me because I've seen him come up a lot because he's like, oh, he's fucking the system. And he's saying the same stuff that everyone else that was called crazy and an asshole and anti-science has been saying for since it started.
Yeah. But I mean, to get this deep into this conversation, you're going to have to break out that tinfoil hat again. So,
yeah, I got it over here. But
it's still in one piece.
well, if Bill Maher's talking about it, then I don't have to protect my brain from them reading these things because it's now acceptable to have these conversations. Just like Joe Rogan said, though. It's like what you would have got kicked off of 8 months ago is now like mainstream conversation. And it's like you were banning people for saying this, and now this is your talking point.
Right.
Maybe this is why we shouldn't censor people.
yeah, I completely agree with you, as well as the burden of proof is shifting in the other direction. So,
Yeah, and whatever happened to sunshine being the best disinfectant?
it's
Like-
still very true. It's just
I thought it was
a lot.
bleach.
No, bleach is good. Well, I'm just like, if the racist wants to get up and speak, the actual racist, instead of saying, no, you're not allowed to speak, let him stand up on his soapbox
Right.
in the Boston Common. Let him embarrass himself and look like a jackass. And everyone else can say,
Exactly.
what a jackass, you know?
Yeah.
And I just, it bothers me when you try to censor people because letting people see this crap makes you see it's actually happening versus being told it's happening in some unknown place that no one, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Have any of you guys heard Joe Rogan actually say you shouldn't get a vaccine, it's bad?
No.
Nope.
He's vaccinated, isn't he?
Yep.
Yes.
And so isn't Tim Pool.
I think early on he was telling 20-year-olds it's a waste of their time.
He didn't
but-
say don't get vaccinated. He said you probably don't need it.
Right.
He never said don't get a vaccine.
Okay.
No, especially if you have like some weird situation that might make it more dangerous, like asthma, for example, because it's a respiratory illness.
Well, even the people they say that are against vaccines are telling you go and talk to your doctor. It's I've watched a bunch of stuff, and there are certain groups that are anti-vax. I'm not going to completely say that there aren't any people that are doing that, but a lot of the people that are saying are anti-vax are saying go talk to your doctor, see if it's right for you.
Right.
Well, and what do you consider anti-vax? Do you think of anti-vax as the same thing as I do, as my mistake, or the new definition of it?
I don't believe in the new definition at all. I believe
Okay.
that religious exemptions are completely legitimate. I do believe
Oh.
that.
The new definition means if you're against a mandate, you're anti-vax.
I know people on the left that are against the mandate.
Then they're anti-vax.
Yeah, I guess by that definition they would be, but
Yeah. Because when I think anti-vax, I think Jenny McCarthy and Jim Carrey telling you that your kid's going to get autism because of the thimerosal in the MMR shot. And it's like they haven't put thimerosal in anything in like 30 years. And that was where the mercury was in the thimerosal.
Yeah, that's actually kind of what I agree with you on. What anti-vax really means is something like that.
All right. And I did my reading up on this shit because I heard about this crap and I was like, well, let's find out. I even found the chemical component that was in question. No one does that anymore. Like, and I would call it doing your own research, but all I'm really doing is reading someone else's research.
Well, I've heard reports of people going to their pharmacist and asking to see the ingredients insert on the COVID-19 vaccine, knowing full well there is no such thing. It's a blank piece of paper.
On the ingredient? Oh, probably because it's a trade secret. Yeah. Or else the entire world would be making it, right?
Well, formulaic patents like RNA vaccines and stuff like that are protected for 15 years.
Jeez Louise. This is where we might get into murky water, but there's just no long-term tests on any of these vaccines.
No.
And that really bothers me when people say that, oh yeah, they have. It's like it hasn't existed long enough to even do a short-term study, let alone a long-term
We
study.
weren't working on this until really COVID came along, you know.
And it's like, I don't know. I'm almost glad that I have a condition that means I can't get this vaccine, because at least I don't have to explain to someone why I'm not vaccinated. You know what I mean? I can just say, I have an issue. I might die if I take it. Which apparently it's like a 50-50 shot. I might seize to death if I get that shot. I'm also taking that chance.
Well, recently I got diagnosed with a heart condition, so I'm using that as my cop out.
Oh yeah, you don't need to deal with myocarditis. We mentioned the jet pilot, right?
Yes.
Did we mention why?
Yeah, we did not. We talked about the Carl Vinson pilot, but we did not say that he just got his booster shot days before.
Oh, and he crashed.
And he clutched his chest and said something about he felt like there's an elephant on his chest and he had to bail out of the aircraft. Okay. Fighter jet pilots don't just have heart attacks.
No, they're incredibly fit.
And he had a physical, just like a couple of weeks before that booster shot.
Fighter jet pilots are pretty top 10% most fit people on the planet.
Yeah, I mean, people don't understand the stresses your body goes through when you're pulling that many G's. I mean, these people are expected to be in the top physical condition. They have to wear special gear that directs blood flow, and as well as their top breathing techniques that would keep them from passing out in high G maneuvers. I actually mentioned to the wife that what the circumstances that made the guy bail out, and she said, "Oh my God, did his G suit fail?" And I was like, not trying to land, that wasn't it. You weren't going at Mach 2 taking a turn.
Yeah, I heard that on the same show you did, about that. And
I write an article about it.
Well, it was on the No Agenda show too.
Oh, was it? Good. You should check out No Agenda show sometime. Might take you a little bit to get past the morning show theme, but it is actually. They dissect the news and they assume that everything is propaganda, and it's hilarious.
Because most stuff is propaganda.
And everyone's a spook, right?
Yeah,
everybody's a CIA agent in hiding.
It's this weekend, isn't it? The thing in Norwood.
Yeah, I'm a little nervous. There was just a shooting in Norwood, and no one gets shot on the East Coast of Massachusetts.
Okay.
I might go have a look though. I'd like to do one of these meetups. It'd be fun.
So there's a spice company that called Republicans racist, and it was like a subscription spice company. And lots of people canceled their subscriptions.
40,000.
And so they went out and started begging for gift card purchases after losing so many customers.
And pre-orders. Actually, I think I heard about this on Tim Pool today.
I mean, and this just goes to show you, if you're in a business to make a profit, it may not be a good idea to alienate a good portion of the population in your customer base.
Or keep political talk out of it.
Yeah. I mean,
and I've brought the quote up several times before on this show. Michael Jordan.
mm-hmm.
And they said, why don't you come out with your political opinions? And he said, because Republicans buy sneakers too. You know?
Yep.
Republicans are more likely to be the ones that vote with their dollar, and they'll go somewhere else.
Yes,
Democrats will be
don't
more
tend-
likely to boycott a company.
I know. That's what blows my mind. The Democrats boycott, but they never actually stop buying from that company. They just threaten to.
Right.
The Republicans actually like, all right, I'll just go somewhere else and spend my money. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Me being more libertarian, I typically say, I don't give a fuck. I'll take the best deal. Typically. I mean, that's why I still buy a cell phone that's not American made. I don't want to spend $10,000 on a cell phone.
Are there any cell phones American made?
I don't know, because I can't imagine paying all those people $15 an hour to make a phone that used to pay people $2 an hour. They
Well,
still
if it's
charge
made-
$1,000.
If it's
Huh?
made in Massachusetts,
I'm sorry,
it'd be more
$2 a
than-
day. It's $14.25. $14.25 here.
Oh, sounds like a deal in the current job market.
But minimum wage is $14.25. Problem is, it costs you a lot more than that to even use one of those toilets you have to swipe your debit card for.
I hate your state.
No, those don't actually exist. I was. Oh, wow. Could you imagine porta potties you have to pay to use?
I actually think they do exist.
Oh, I would take a dump
I
right.
think
in front of
they
that
got them in
thing.
London. I think they got them in London. And
You would too.
They put those on there to cut down on, vandalism and homeless people just living in them and hanging out.
Oh, so there still might be porta potties, but if I got a couple bucks, I could swipe this thing and hurry up and take a dump if I need to, or take a leak and not have to deal with the feces on the wall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, so okay. I like the idea, but that's perpetuating the class system.
You have to
I'm-
pay
I'm-
by paper to imagine going there.
Paper play.
Triple play.
Okay, they say Facebook knows when you poop because there's like data, but Valia crap definitely knows when you poop because they got paid.
That could be one of our sponsors.
Valia crap. Speaking of a bag of full of shit, Smollette is gonna just got his sentencing date handed down.
May
Sometime in
10th.
March.
March 10th.
March 10th. Okay.
March 10th.
I am pay-per-viewing that day. I so want to see it.
He's not
How
gonna
long you
spend.
guys think you're gonna get?
He's not gonna serve a day. He's gonna get a monetary fine.
Time served.
They're gonna do whatever it is, and they're gonna hand him a monetary fine. He's convicted of 5 felonies.
No, he's gonna spend some time. He's doing some time. May not
All
be
these-
much, but he's gonna. do
My
some
state
time.
is, trust me, in the area I currently live in, it's a good mix of people. And even a lot of the people on the left that I know are saying that guy did something completely out of line. So I don't think he's not going to get out with at least serving some time. It'd probably be just like 30 days, but he's at least going to spend some time in jail.
I think
I'm thinking
30
6
to
months.
6 months. Yeah, 30
Yeah.
to 6 months would be appropriate.
Well, realistically, it should be at least 5 years, right?
I completely
Well,
agree.
according
with
to
you.
minimum sentencing guidelines.
Exactly, but
they got
they're
minimum
allowed to do
sentences.
weird, stupid shit and not make this man serve his time. And I think that's exactly because it should be at least 5 years for 5 felony convictions.
Well, I mean, the prison system in Illinois, he might actually fucking enjoy it. Seriously.
That and they might let him out. They'll probably let him out within an hour because of COVID. We can't
No,
have
don't let him
people-
out within an hour because he'll just be running around pantsless going, oh, look at the candy.
My butt doesn't hurt yet.
So he could. Oh, he.
Am I allowed to make gay jokes?
He could go to jail and come out with like, hey, I've been in jail. Come and do a comeback. Like
I
all
got a
these
feeling.
rappers.
Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, like all this rapper got like a reputation for being hardcore, and must have like never been to jail. But
Well, I think when he gets out of jail, when he farts, it's gonna sound like someone blowing across the top of a jug. Hoo 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 hoo.
I could make a joke at my own personal expense. Not going to.
Don't want to hear it.
Well, here's a shocker of a poll.
Speaking of the shocker,
Most Americans want President Biden to consider all nominees for Supreme Court, not just black females.
so most Americans actually aren't racist.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. Because it is pretty racist to decide the ethnicity of someone before you even look at candidates, right?
Right.
All right. Yeah, exactly. I read the breakdown. I have no idea what it is up top of my head, but like even the Democrats, like, yeah, no, maybe you should at least look at the Asian guy.
Yeah.
Or the black woman, or the black dude, or the white woman.
I mean, whatever happened to this country being based on merit? I'm not saying that we shouldn't look at a candidate's race just because it sets sometimes it can set a really cool precedent if you had somebody equally qualified. I don't like the idea of looking at race, but at the same point there's something necessarily cool about being the first Asian American, first African American that's been appointed to the court, even though first African American's already been appointed.
Well, first African American female is going to have an asterisk next to her name.
Yeah, just
I
like
completely agree
She'll
with
be a
you.
diversity hire.
I completely agree with you. That's bad. I'm just saying if you have two people that are equally qualified,
Right.
and I'm sorry, I'm not trying to venture into the realm of you should always pick the minority. I'm trying just to say that it's like, historically speaking, it's pretty cool.
I guess Joe Biden doesn't learn his lesson because he diversity hire the VP. How's that working out for him?
Oh my God, she's the most disliked vice president in history, right?
Yeah, and now he learned from Afghanistan, the debacle he did. Now we got Ukraine coming up, so
I still can't believe that. It still blows my mind that Cheney shot a dude in the face and then got that guy to apologize to him.
Right.
And people liked him more than they like Kamala Harris.
Might be her cackle.
yeah.
The dude shot him in the face.
It was an accident.
They like her cackle. They hate her cackle. They hate the fact that she swaps races, like just flipping a coin. I mean, she's worse than freaking Elizabeth Warren in that sense. But the woman is a predator of opportunity, I guess would be the best way to say it.
Yeah, but Cheney shot a dude in the face, and then that guy apologized to him for getting in the way of a shot. It just blows my mind.
That's hunting protocol. That's hunting protocol, dude. You ruined the dude's shot.
You still don't squeeze the trigger. Like, isn't that rule number one? Right?
With my
Don't
family,
shoot someone in the face.
With my family, it's a game of flip the coin. Do I really like that, cousin? Yeah.
All right.
So you said you had another comment from The View.
Yeah, we'll get to her response after we address why they had to respond.
Okay.
Oh yeah, this is.
I'm sure all of you guys heard about this today, right?
I looked up all the videos.
No.
I'm sure anyone listening probably heard about this. Whoopi Goldberg said the Nazis weren't racist.
To quote, she said it was white people killing white people, and it wasn't about race; it was about evil.
But it was. They wanted to create a master race of blonde-haired and blue-eyed people. There's a lot of whites that have purple hair and green eyes. They're not part of the master race.
I think I have this queued up. If I'll just play what she actually said.
Okay.
He's hoping it works. Oh crap!
Play your commercial.
Yeah. No, I tried to not move my screen, and I just clicked, and I have no idea where it went. There's the John Oliver or Colbert thing. I'm gonna have to skip forward. Oh geez, I made a mess.
Oh,
Don't you
no.
always?
I just did it again. This is amazing.
Oh no.
Yeah. Oh no!
Not surprised.
I can't hear this at all.
Brian, we're gonna get in.
You're not sharing audio.
No, I had to fast forward to where it was again. I think it was at like. Okay, that all right. I queued it up at least. All right, now I got it. I'm sorry, it took me a second. I had it and I clicked the button, but I clicked on a freaking commercial, and it was supposed to play. All right, you should be able to hear this.
And let's be truthful about it, because the Holocaust isn't about race. No, it's not about
maybe
race.
ethnicity.
Now it's going to this other garbage. Well, I guess that's all that mattered.
And Joy Reid just agreed with her, saying the Holocaust wasn't about race?
Joy Reid was actually trying to disagree with her, to her credit.
Or
But-
Joy Behar, whatever her name is.
Whatever her name is.
There was more to that, but I had it queued up to a better spot before that actually went into more than didn't go into sound.
I think it's
Yeah.
funny though, if you watch the entire clip, all the women just looked in horror at her all at once. It was like, what did you just say?
Yeah, did you just? That was worse than Mel Gibson.
Yeah. But here's the thing. I mean, she's got black privilege, so she's going to get away with it.
Is she gonna get away with it?
I think so.
You don't think you think she's going to lose her job?
I don't know. She might not lose her job, but people might stop watching The View.
I doubt that.
I really do doubt that. Whoopi isn't the big drawing point. I mean, she is the big drawing point for a certain demographic, but she's not the total encompassing big drawing point. So there's not going to be enough people that stop watching it to justify firing her. And she's, quote, in the position that she's in, she's considered the moderator of the group, which is a horrible moderator, to be honest with you.
She's such a giant racist.
Yes, completely agree.
Actually, you know what might be the thumbnail for this episode is going to be a picture of her sitting next to Ted Danson in blackface.
If you can find it.
That's horrible.
Oh, it's everywhere.
But then she went, the biggest problem with this is she went on to, what was it, Colbert or O'Brien?
Colbert.
She went on to Colbert and said, I'm not going to fake apologize. This is just how I see it.
And then
Which-
she fake apologized.
Yeah, I mean, this woman is unapologetic, to say the least, about saying this stuff. And so honestly, it's like anybody else would have been ostracized from public life.
Oh, could
I
you
loved her
imagine-
on Star Trek Next Generation, but man, she went off the deep end now.
She, I believe, got the first, was it Golden Globe as a black female supporting actress for Ghost, something like that. Yes, and I liked her on Star Trek too. I love the Next Generation.
Yeah.
She was
Next
the
generation's
empath, right?
awesome.
Yes.
Yes.
That lived like 600 years.
She was the bartender person that, listened.
Yeah, but they went back in time in one episode, back to Earth, and they found her when in like 1920s or whatever, and they're like, "What the hell?" And I don't know. There's this whole big thing because she knew the captain
Right.
before she met the captain. It was a good episode when Whoopi.
Gaia.
Hold on,
Gaia.
Gaia. Is that what they call her?
Yes, that is
Ga-
her name. I was
Ga-
waiting to say that.
That's amazing. The wife got it, but Gaia isn't that Earth?
Yes,
Other
Gaia
Earth.
is another name for Earth.
Huh? Nature.
Mythology.
Mother Earth.
Yeah, GAEA or something weird like that. I've seen it spelled.
One
No,
fun fact
Guinan.
about her.
Guinan.
Guinan. That's it. Guinan.
I knew it was
Whatever.
something like that, but The fun fact is I like this. It's just nerd cred in my category, since we keep a running tally of this between me and Testicles here.
Call me whatever you want at this point. Like for real, I publish this crap onto my Facebook page. That's you know what I mean.
Yeah, okay.
Just
Me
don't
and
put my
Yaten-
home address out there.
me and Yaten, we have a running tally of nerd cred. Just to up mine right now, the reason that she was always moving and always on like either Earth or the Enterprise or stuff like that was the fact that her species was running from the Borg.
Very, very possible. Or yeah, not just very possible, but yeah. Are you watching the new one?
Picard.
I watched half a season of Picard. I want to finish it, but I'm also
New season's coming out like next month.
and I've only watched one episode of Discovery of the
Better
new
get
season.
caught up. I'm gonna start telling all the secrets about it.
Do you have CBS All Access?
I have Paramount Plus. There is no CBS All Access anymore.
Okay, it's Paramount. Okay, well I thought maybe I was a year ahead of you and you had to watch it on TV.
See, what I watch, none of y'all care about. Like I get spoiled the Expanse, even though the season's done. I
already watched The Expanse.
Okay. I could also spoil Demon Slayer for any of you guys because that it's an anime, but it's freaking phenomenal. So
no, I'm catching up on. Well, the wife's catching up on Dexter because she wants to watch the new season.
I already watched it.
Yeah, don't ruin that voice. She's like, I'm watching the whole thing again. It's like there's too much, and then
there's like 10 seasons of it.
Yeah, but and I watch it. I'm like, holy crap! I forgot about all of this crap.
Yeah.
You know,
but if
like
we
I
go
was
back-
into it.
New season's pretty good. I have to
Hey
admit.
guys, I made me the most sober of the group, so let's go back to the Whoopi Goldberg topic.
All right.
Whoopi's a giant racist. She basically she came out and said, if I can't see the difference, then you're not that race.
Yeah, that is complete bullshit. Sorry, Guapo. Go ahead.
No,
No, I disagree with you guys.
Okay.
Well, that makes that she's basically saying a Haitian, a Jamaican, a Nigerian, and an Ethiopian are all the same person.
They're not.
You know, and
No.
they're from thousands of miles away from each other.
And one thing we take for granted as being here in America is the fact that European races look a lot different from each other.
I was going to bring that up. When she said the Nazis were white people fighting white people, or were they Caucasian? Were they Slavic? Were they Celtic? Were they Northern Asian?
Romania, Hungary.
No, they were Anasazi
Polish.
Jew and German killing each other.
The Germans, I believe, are well, it depends on what part of Germany. Part of Germany's Slavic people. Into Yugoslavia, Poland, the Czech Republic.
Yeah, but
Not
also
sure.
they're mainly Celt from descent.
A lot of Celtic people, but these are all different races of people. And I don't think Whoopi realized that. Like, you can, a anthropologist can look at the bones of these peoples and tell you what if they were Caucasian or Slavic, or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're physically different, and that's what a race is, right?
Yeah.
She
Yeah.
thinks skin color, because she made the big deal about it, like, oh, a lot of Jews could pass for white, and they had to put their work in. And they're not those Nazis. They actually put their work in. The first thing I thought was like, what was a brown paper bag test? Right? They called it they called it a paper bag test or something like that.
Yeah, I get what you're saying on that one.
Yeah, if your skin was darker than the bag that used to get your lunch in, then you were black and you couldn't eat at the diner or had to sit in the back of the bus. Like
I will
We've
agree with
been-
her on one point. It is evil. It is completely evil.
yes.
That's probably the only nugget of truth that she had in that whole long line of talking that she did. Even on Colbert, that was only
doubled
nugget
down.
of truth. Yeah, she doubled down, but that's the whole nugget of truth that's in there is the fact that it's evil. No matter how you look at it, no matter how you spin it, and no matter how she wants to spin it, her actions are evil and the actions of history are evil. So
I don't like using that word.
I guess there's some finality to it, but yeah.
You
Catholic
want to talk
upbringing.
about Trey Gowdy?
The bulldog.
I just
hate this guy.
I just click. Well, what I hate worse than this guy is
And
the
I
Daily
shared this.
Wire. The Daily Wire. I clicked on the link and had to click through 3 different pop-up ads to get
Really?
to the actual article.
Honestly, I like Trey Gowdy. So
Oh yeah, I had to look at the Candace Owens thing. Okay. First of all, I didn't realize Gowdy wasn't still in office.
Nope.
And I didn't know he was on Fox News. Apparently, that's like what he does now is he's on Fox News. I thought he was still
A
Congressman.
senator.
Yeah.
Congressman, senator.
Congressman.
Yeah, I've never been a huge fan of the guy, but I will say he's made me laugh real hard several times.
I
did you
like
see-
when he was
No, go ahead.
when he was in politics, he was a complete bulldog. I'm not sure. I've not kept up on his current events, but when he was in politics, he was a bulldog. He would chew anybody out that he thought was not giving him the full story. So I can
Well-
at least respect that.
This is what he said on he was on Outnumbered the other day on Fox News. That's when they have like 4 women and 1 man.
Yeah, it's their version of The View.
And it's a rotating guest. That's the man. He said, I have a couple pretty simple rules in life. Don't ever compare anything to slavery. Don't ever compare anything to the Holocaust. And if you're a man, don't compare anything to pregnancy. That's rule number 1. Rule number 2, if you're going to apologize, then just apologize. Don't explain it. Don't try to mitigate it. Apologize. Excuse me. And ask for forgiveness. And number 3, as a culture, we've got to do a better job of figuring out who is just famous and who actually knows what he or she is talking about. Because sometimes we confuse the two. And one of the women is like, "Oh, who'd you just drop the mic on?" Whoopi, right?
Yep.
Not really typically a giant fan of the guy, but he's like, just like Clay said, when he's got something to say, he
He's
puts
not
it
afraid
the
to
way.
say it. Yeah.
Yeah, he says it.
hmm
Probably why he's not still in office.
No, I think his terms are up.
What terms? You can run again.
No, true.
That's what I meant.
He just quit. He
I
quit.
think you want to get paid. Unlike
Yeah.
Nancy Pelosi, most people have to leave Congress to get paid.
Okay. I know we talked about this before, how she just got called out for insider trading again.
Mhm.
Well, she was I say again. No, she was the reason why the laws were passed in the first place against insider trading with government officials.
Now they're trying to strengthen them up even more.
Well, because Obama undid most of it within hours of them being signed in the middle of the night. He went and said, "Nope, we're not doing half this crap." And it's just, and they made a big deal, like, "Oh, we're gonna make sure that they can't just rip everyone off." And then they went undid it hours later. And this was under Obama. And go ahead and fact check me. Anyone who cares to say I'm wrong.
You're wrong.
Well, it pisses me off. These guys they have advanced knowledge of what's going on.
Oh yeah,
You're-
and they have advanced knowledge on pending regulations and laws that are coming into effect that might affect the businesses that they're looking at investing in.
Oh yeah, like for example, it's like, hey, we're about to legalize marijuana nationwide, and then they go buy a whole shit ton of pot stock,
Mhm.
or they say we're about to ban vaping in the United States, and then they go and sell all their vape stock because
Yeah.
they decide what happens.
Yeah,
And I'm sorry, it blows my mind that people are saying like, "Oh, that doesn't happen." So what do you mean doesn't happen? If you have knowledge before someone else, you move on it, right? I don't know. I've done pretty good with some crypto rate lately because I pay attention to the current news cycle, and I've been good about buying and selling even on a daily basis to get a little bit. Could you imagine if I had forewarning of an incoming regulation or removal of regulation?
yeah, you'd be moving some shit.
Oh, I'd be a billionaire.
And the problem is I think that if you notice that a lot of the spouses get rich too, investing
Yes.
when these people are in office.
Well, Pelosi's husband's actually, well, I say independently wealthy, but he's made a ton of investments since Nancy's been in office too.
Well, hasn't she been in office for like 50 years?
Yeah, well, she's 175.
So she's been in office for 150 of those years.
Yeah, you like. Oh no, you didn't see her queef the other day? Like dust actually shot out of her dress.
Okay, nope, too sober for this
She
conversation.
wears a dress. I've never seen her wear a dress.
I don't know. Honestly, all I can see is that face of hers with looks like this scotch tape holding her face up.
No plastic surgery involved.
and just trying
No,
not
it's
to lose
just-
her teeth.
No, it's just the souls of little children and ice cream that keeps her young.
Yeah,
Uh,
she cracks the babies open, eats the stem cells.
all right, let's move to international news for a minute.
All right. I guess that's gonna be Russia then, huh?
Yeah.
Russia. Was it Hillary or Maddow? Whatever. Doesn't matter.
That was Russia. That was Hillary.
That was Hillary that said Russia.
Yeah.
Who hit the reset button with Russia?
That was her. That was part of her campaign. Yeah.
Was it? No, she was in office for that.
Well, she was Secretary of State when she brought up that crazy idea.
Yeah. All right. I just want to point that out to people. This is what the Democrats are doing with the Russians. And they took Crimea under Obama, then Trump took over. Granted, he didn't do anything about it. But they didn't do shit when Trump was in office. Now they're getting ready to take the rest of Ukraine. China's ready to move in and take over the true government that's in Taiwan. Seems like the Democrats are more in cahoots with the Russians, especially considering the Steele dossier, you know?
Yeah.
That's something
Well,
different altogether. Let's
they've
get back to the
come
war that might happen.
The Secretary of Defense has come out and said that Russia has enough troops and equipment on the Ukraine border to invade the entire country.
Who says this?
The Secretary of Defense, Lloyd Austin.
Are they going to show us pictures?
I'm
No.
sure they're out there to find them if you look for them.
I don't know, but they say things like this, and it again, Obama actually lifted the law that said it was illegal for the government to propagandize the American people.
Well, he also convinced the Ukrainians to get rid of their nuclear weapons. We wouldn't be in this position if Ukraine still had nukes.
And right to that, former Vice President Biden is now dealing with the outcome of that, the fallout of that. Yeah, and like I understand why Putin says I want shit in writing because you lie.
Right.
Like I get that, and that's why he didn't fuck with Trump. He's like, that dude ain't lying. He will blow my house up, you know.
Trump really did have some testicles, and I think that's what kept other countries in line, is because they were afraid that he would use them to just drag them across their face. I mean,
he dropped the largest non-nuclear bomb on the planet on a mountain.
Right,
He shook the mountain and killed the people inside.
You talked about this last show, I believe.
Really, the Moab?
Yeah, if it wasn't the last show, it was like a week or two ago. You brought up the Moab thing. Pretty much every time we talk about Trump, you talk about Moab now.
It's a big bomb. It's as big as the one we dropped on Hiroshima. It's not nuclear.
I could go into, again, Russia's point of view, but honest to God, I hope they do not invade the Ukraine, because
Why?
it could be another powder keg of Europe.
I agree.
So
World War III.
why?
Once they get to attacking NATO countries, you got no choice.
Sure we
Not
do.
only that is Russia is also supplying a huge amount of natural resources to Europe and stuff like this.
That's thanks to President Biden.
It is.
It's even been before that. I mean, Russia's been trying to leverage economic strength for years.
Well,
He
yeah,
really
and
has.
also the
Russia's a joke
Europeans are
economically.
so green energy, they used to be energy independent. Like France used to have tons of nuclear power plants that supplied all their energy in the country. They're in the process of shutting them all down and
Are they
relying
really?
on, yes, they're going to they're relying on the Russian natural gas. This was one of Trump's big bugaloos, when he was president, was that they didn't want to try to get their natural gas from the US. They wanted to get it from Russia.
Why are you switching to
Why
natural
would you
gas
not
though?
get it from an ally?
You had your entire country running like 7 nuclear power plants.
Yep.
You only had to pay like 600 people.
Well, they wanted to go with renewable energy sources.
We can refine more uranium. There's so much energy. And it's almost free.
In the green world, nuclear is not considered green.
I don't understand why. It's the cleanest energy there is.
Russia's taking a playbook out of the U.S. military. They need the Ukraine for a warm water port. I'm going to go into this again. But Russia does need warm water ports to have a very effective Navy in particular. But they've been trying to leverage, though, their economic power, much how the U.S. does it, in order to secure their footing in the modern world. And this is just pretty much fallout of us neglecting them, not living up to our own promises after the Cold War. And honestly, this is America's own making. I have to say this. This is America and NATO's own making for neglecting Russia instead of incorporating them, like we said we would after the fall of the Berlin Wall.
Yeah. Oh, geez, Louise. That was what, 86?
Yeah.
86.
Reagan was president.
Yeah. So what, Reagan took office in 84, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. And much like I would blame the housing inflation on the Democrat.
I know that.
Much like I would blame the housing inflation off the Democrat that passed the bill, we're looking at the long-term effects of what we did to Russia after the Cold War right now.
All right. Well, yeah. Well, okay. So what you're saying is just like we did to Germany after World War I.
Yes.
We took a giant dump on their forehead and said, F you. And now young Addie is pissed off that he's got a whore Jew mom. So he's going to start the next World War.
Yeah.
Right.
I completely think of that situation because Russia is very vulnerable. I mean, most people don't look at it that way, but Russia is still militarily vulnerable.
They're nuclear equipped and they have a lot of nukes.
But what I'm talking about is land. And that's one big problem with Russia. A lot of it is flat ground. And I know you keep going back to the Napoleonic Wars, but Russia's been invaded so many times. And the Scorched Earth campaign, which is military doctrine up until I believe World War II, was very ineffective because that burns most of their farming land.
Mm-hmm.
And so they wanted
but
to secure
we don't have
borders.
to march. We don't have to march across 1,000 miles of Siberia to go to war anymore either.
This is very true, but according to a military doctrine on our side, in order to hold land, you still need to have tanks on the ground. You still need to have military forces on the ground, and so on and so forth.
Yeah, but you don't have to. You don't have to take property. You can just blow up their military bases from the air.
I mean, this is different schools of thought here, but I'm telling you what, like, traditional military doctrine, which Russian hardliners seriously look at. And traditional military doctrine would state, which is what I'm trying to explain, is their point of view.
I know. I'm sorry. My point is traditional military doctrine keeps losing to guerrilla tactics.
Yes.
Period. Almost every time.
But traditional military doctrine, if Russia decided to go to war with Europe, is going to be applied.
But that's what blows my mind is we still have this traditional war that we got rid of in the United States after the Civil War, for the most part, right?
Mm-hmm.
Lining up and shooting at each other, because that's fucking stupid, right?
Well, it was because they did that because aiming wasn't, the bullet wasn't accurate. But
so we stand close to each other so we make sure they hit one of us?
No, you shoot a lot into one specific target, and that's why.
Yeah, and then even the American Revolution, though, is like you'd have one guy in the wood, or I'm sorry, like 30 guys in the woods over like 10 miles.
Yeah, but
And they would fire
that's-
one round and run up and get to the next musket and fire another round because I would fire into the crowd because I was going to hit somebody, even if I didn't
That's
know I was going to
because-
land. If you
that's
weren't
because
so close
America-
together, I wouldn't hit you.
That's because America improved the musket because they used to hunting. They improved the musket to go hunting and they were more accurate than the.
Well,
British.
that it also took longer to load. We had regular troops intermixed with militia, and that was one of the
Yeah.
biggest tactics that we had going for us, was because that the rifles that had the smaller bore that was tighter, as well
That
as
was
the
more
rifling.
accurate.
It was far more accurate, but we still intermixed regular smoothbore muskets into the ranks in order to have an effective fire as well as fire to keep our enemies either behind cover or randomly hit them and kill them. So
Well, then they hid in the woods and they would fire a single round into the marching English soldiers wearing red coats. So they were easy to see in the green woods.
Officers were the easy to spot because they were wearing gold plated stuff.
yeah,
So shiny
but back
object.
The entire world learned their lesson about wearing red coats in a green place, trying to hide. Now everyone's doing camouflage.
All right, well, back to the U.S. Navy.
Yeah.
There's been an officer that was bribed with cash and prostitutes. A whole ring of these people.
were they engineering?
Hookers and blow. Hookers and blow.
Yeah,
Thank
that's why
God
I'm
Almighty
asking if they
for
were
hookers and blow.
That's why I'm asking.
He
if they were
was
engineers.
information commander.
Oh wow, so it works for other areas.
Oh no, these dudes that got busted were way high up.
Yeah, he
What, a
was
whole bunch of them
commander.
already pled guilty, right?
Yeah,
Trying to
Someone,
avoid the death sentence.
yeah, that's
pretty
exactly what it
much,
was. They were, I believe they pled guilty to giving U.S. Navy secrets to the China, right?
Yeah, and they weren't like, in their mind, they were probably thinking they weren't big secrets, but it was secrets on when the ships were moving around in the Seventh Fleet, so that the Chinese company could bid on contracts to work on them and to supply them with food and ports and stuff like that.
Loose lips sink ships.
Yep.
You all heard that one many times,
Yep.
right?
Yeah, and with China's recent aggravations towards America, we could have, I don't think it's completely logical, but we could have a war just pretty much at any time. China right now is very much a state looking to come up in the
And if
world.
they know where our ships are,
34 naval officials, including defense contractors, GDMA employees,
and officers, right?
yeah, and 28 of them have pled guilty, including 2 other 7th Fleet officers, and then 6 other officers go on trial February 28th.
Realistically, though, I genuinely think Claire was right. That was to avoid execution for
yeah.
treason. Like
I
it's
don't
off the
know,
table now.
execution, but he probably didn't want to spend their life in Leavenworth either. So
Selling government secrets.
That you are going to
for-
spend the rest of your life as a military
Oh
officer.
no! If you were enlisted, you spend the rest of your life
not as an officer.
because you knew this much garbage as an enlisted. An officer can actually get drunk and bullshit and say something stupid that gives the Chinese a really good idea. The officers are the one that get executed, not the enlisted. I know it sounds counterintuitive, but the enlisted guy knows nothing and you know it.
Yeah, but
He knows
I mean-
his job today.
Do we want to talk about the Biden migrant flights?
God,
We've talked about this before.
can we
This
bring
isn't the first
Biden up
time.
on human trafficking charges? Because that's literally what this is human trafficking.
Yeah, is this the same one? The leaked video and the guy was like, I don't know what's going on. They said that they told me that they were the government and they're not allowed to tell me what's happening.
Well, basically, airport security saw these flights landing, saw the buses waiting and stuff like that, and he stopped everybody. He's like, I don't care who you are. I'm in charge of security at the airport at this time right now.
Good
I want
on
to see
him.
some identification.
Yeah, but the problem is he accepted the argument of no, we're here on a secret government mission in the middle of the night and let them go.
Yeah, well, but he recorded the video of it. That's why the Daily Mail's got video, and
Yeah,
it's on.
awesome.
It's on
Cool,
Fox
cool.
News too. It basically
Cool.
both these links have the same video. So
Yeah, cool that they have video. But this security guy who's supposed to stop this shit from happening, it's literally his job. Looked the other way because someone's like, yeah, we really can't talk about this. It's, not really, if the American people heard we were betraying them. I don't care if the president tells you to do it. If it's against the law, it's still against the law.
it's not a lawful order.
Yeah, like this is the whole Nuremberg trial, right? Following orders is not an excuse anymore.
No.
No, but the appeal to authority fallacy is still a real thing. These people have more authority than you. They can destroy your life.
But that guy never.
I do not like his actions. I do not respect his actions. I understand them.
That guy, the dude didn't even show a badge. I could walk up and say, "Yeah, no, I'm with the government. This has to be hush hush." You
Probably
just
didn't
wear a
have
nice
a
suit,
badge.
huh?
He was probably with Homeland Security. He probably doesn't have a badge.
That's
Probably-
what I mean. Is like
probably
he's
some
just-
mid-level GS. Just escorting the people at 3:00 in the morning.
well, now I know how to sneak in the Russians that are gonna go to California and mail in their votes for Trump.
Okay.
All I do is say I'm Homeland Security sneaking migrants in and let a whole bunch of Russians out.
I think California just take them regardless, no questions asked.
No, they're probably gonna vote Republican because the Russians love Trump so much. That's why they shit their pants and put their tail between their legs when he was in office.
All right, we got a couple more topics to get to. Domino's has come out with a new advertising campaign that you totally disagree with.
That's because you're all wrong. But
They're paying their customers to pick up, carry out pizzas over delivery because they don't have enough delivery drivers to deliver the pizzas in a timely manner. So between now and May, you can order a pizza online and go pick it up and make $3 in the process.
any Domino's,
Any Domino's, it's nationwide.
What are they gonna call it? Self-deliver?
Pretty much self-delivery.
Yeah,
That'd
we
be a
pick
good
up
way to go with
Domino's. We pick it up anyway because the only Domino's is the next town over, and they won't cross the town line with an online order.
Well, it's also a lot fresher if you go pick it up yourself too. My biggest problem with delivery these days is
They hit
because
6
there's
houses
not enough
before yours.
drivers. I mean, the Papa John's is like 5 minutes from my house, but it takes them an hour to deliver the pizza because they go to 5 other places along the way.
I miss Papa John so much.
Well, you don't got over there?
Oh God, no! Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
No, we were excited when we found out there's a Domino's. Now, don't get me wrong, the pizza here is fucking amazing. It's like the only good food in Massachusetts is the pizza, but that's because everyone in the world has tried to make their own pizza. No,
They got clam chowder too.
Hey,
chowder. No, but
I'm
all
gonna say
these
this.
pizza shops are independently owned. Like they have their own name, like Royal Pizza. This, and it's not Domino's and Pizza Hut. It's like this dude's like, I make a good
You don't have a lot
pie.
of chain restaurants up there for pizza.
I have the best pizza.
No, you don't.
Y'all can
Uno's
just
Pizza?
no,
Uno's Pizza?
no.
Chicago
Yeah.
style?
Chicago style. I don't like Chicago style. It's too much crust.
No, that ain't good Chicago style then.
Toppings. Toppings go on top. So therefore, Chicago style is wrong, right? Chicago fucked it up for everyone. That's why we call them pies.
I like my Chicago style pizza. I like my Rosati's.
I'll eat a Chicago style pizza once in a while, but really, I'd rather go the New York style or even a Massachusetts bar pizza. Good luck finding a bar pizza anywhere outside of Massachusetts, not just Massachusetts, outside of the South Shore of Massachusetts, like 30 miles from my house, and I'm not kidding you.
I still say that we've got the best pizza. You guys can have the rest.
So California was trying to set up a single payer healthcare system.
Yeah, this is when they wanted to
And this
They
is what
were
they want
talking
the
about-
whole country to go to.
Yeah, but they were looking to double their taxes, right? To fund
Oh,
this.
they were going to include illegal aliens. Everybody was going to get health care.
No.
And it's going to all be paid for California.
Oh, so if that's the case, then like if I get cancer, I should just move to California for free treatment
Pretty much.
and not pay into the system at all and only mooch.
Yep.
Let me ask you this. You think after a couple months the server's gonna be good?
Nope, it's gonna be
Yeah.
rationed.
No, it's going to be worse than going to the VA.
Death panels, just like do you guys remember what was that
What?
dude's name? Oh, shoot. The thing happened in England with the kid, and the government decided they weren't even gonna try something.
That was
Yeah.
the UK.
Yeah, in England, yeah.
Yeah.
And they wouldn't even try an emergency treatment, like, oh well, it's not authorized. It's like this kid's gonna die in 6 hours. This baby.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even
Can
the
we at
Pope
least-
They
offered
tried to get it exported to the U.S.
to
for
do the
treatment, and the UK wouldn't let them out of the country.
Even
United
the
States.
Pope offered to help too.
Yeah, oh, and the reason why they didn't let him out of the country is he's too sick to travel. And it's like
And on
because
top
you
of
won't
that,
let him
when
have
he got-
medicine.
And on top of that, when the kid died, the parents couldn't see his body.
Yeah, the U.S. has a right to try, right? I think that's what
Yes.
they call it. Is that nationwide or
No, it's not nationwide.
I thought it was.
Well, I mean, what was that lady? There was some lady up north that had to fight to get her COVID husband transferred to Texas for treatment. It got approved eventually, but he ended up dying anyway. So,
well, I'm not sure what that was, but I thought it was maybe it's not, but
Maybe it is a nationwide state. It's just certain states file laws to make it.
find ways
exempt.
to get around it.
Yep.
But typically speaking, in this country, you have the if you're on your deathbed or have a terminal disease,
mhm.
you're allowed to try basically anything that a doctor says might work.
Except ivermectin.
We can, oh shit, I meant to look this article up. Reuters just released an article that ivermectin might have antiviral properties.
Might have. That's what it's been used for the last 30 years.
No, it's been antibacterial and antiparasitic.
Okay.
But that's the reason why. Anyway, it blew my mind. Reuters is not a right wing
No.
publication. What were we talking about before I got into that?
Ilhan Omar will seek re-election in 2022.
Oh God.
That wasn't it, but all right.
Who's this? What?
Ilhan Omar.
Oh,
The brother marrying. I'm not even going to use any
She's
other
from
words.
Michigan. She's a Michigan congresswoman.
Yeah. No, she married her brother.
Allegedly married her brother.
What do you mean allegedly? There's paperwork.
I understand that, but it was never proven in a court of law. Therefore, we have to say allegedly to avoid a strike.
Fuck YouTube. She married her brother. Whether or not she fucked him, I don't even care. She married her brother to get him citizenship in this country. And she's a giant anti-Semite.
Oh yeah, I'm not going to deny that.
But when she
So
says
there was
kill all the
a-
Jews, it's okay.
I'm moving on to our final topic.
Oh,
There
we
was
didn't
a
even go- oh, okay.
reporter from EWTN that asked your favorite person, Psaki, a question about when Biden thinks life begins.
Yeah.
He's a devout Catholic, so he should believe it begins at inception. But no, according to her, Psaki, he believes in a woman's right to choose. But she just kept repeating that. And the reporter pushed back and said, that's not the question I asked. And they went back and forth and back and forth.
Well, I'm pretty sure. Who does it take? Does it take the Pope to excommunicate?
Yes.
It takes the Pope and not like a cardinal or a bishop.
I would think Pope.
I
Because-
think actually cardinals can make that recommendation.
And maybe the Pope can like veto kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's very bureaucratic. But the cardinal in Boston, I believe it was the one in Boston, said that Biden is definitely not a Catholic.
And
If these are his views,
you can't take communion.
you can't take communion.
Boston.
That's excommunication. You're not a Catholic. You can't have communion. Granted, he didn't use that word because typically speaking, the Catholic Church doesn't really excommunicate much anymore. But the Catholic Church made it very clear they disagree with him 100% on his abortion stance.
Well, good for them to sticking by their morals.
Yeah. And granted, we made a lot of jokes about the kid diddling, and that was pretty fucked up. I'm not gonna sugarcoat that garbage, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you know, they made the Catholic Church actually made an effort, and they may or may not have been successful, but they're trying to get rid of that because that's not cool.
No.
We've talked about this before, actually, how I said that maybe they need to make sure that priests don't have to be abstinent anymore. Might make a difference. But I don't want to think that an incel is automatically a pedophile because they're easy prey.
Right.
Did I just say incel?
Yes.
Wow. I think it's the first time I've said that word out loud. Involuntary celibates. Oh, I guess I should get some music going here, huh? Yeah, I guess that was our show. Oh, Jesus Christ. Well, I don't even know how to find my crap anymore. Oh boy, that's not
We
it.
talk about Tom Brady.
We already did.
Apparently Brady's leaving, but
Officially.
he changed his mind.
No, he's came out today. He's definitely retiring.
Oh, he did.
Yeah.
I don't care.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to the smooth jazz at the end of our show. You have a good night and welcome back next time.
Should have hit stop right there, dude. That would have been a great end.
All right, I hit it.
All right.